Seth Rich. I know there's a lot of controversy on the internet about the Seth Rich about Seth Rich. You know, he's the DNC staffer who was murdered last July. There have been allegations the police investigation has been derailed in some ways by political interference. And then secondly, there's been this suggestion that he was involved somehow in the leaking of the Democratic emails from the DNC to WikiLeaks, which suggests that maybe the Russians weren't responsible for it, that there was an insider like Rich responsible for it. I don't know whether any of that's true. None of it may be true. But the WikiLeaks people have, strongly suggested it's true, and so I don't know if they're telling the truth or not. There's been enough credible info out there in the media, despite the retraction of Fox News story talking about some of this, to suggest that there was some hanky-panky going on with the police investigation. So the question is, what, we're not supposed to just wait? Well, that's not what Judicial Watch does. We ask questions. So what we did was we filed Freedom of Information Act requests last week with the police department here in the District of Columbia and the mayor's office in the District of Columbia. We also filed last year a FOIA request with the FBI shortly after the murder, asking about issues related to Seth Rich, because back then there was some reports that he was cooperating with the FBI, so we were asking about that. We got no records response, meaning the FBI said they didn't have any records. And then, of course, we have a separate FOIA law, not a lawsuit yet, but I suspect we'll have to file a lawsuit about records about the DNC hack itself. Now, so Seth Rich aside, the investigation of the DNC hack has raised questions. The DNC wasn't terribly cooperative. They didn't allow the FBI to get access to their server. And a lot of the allegations about what happened on that DNC hack really come from not necessarily the FBI's independent analysis, but from a vendor for the DNC, which is all very curious. So, everyone screams in the media when you ask questions about that death investigation, the Seth Rich investigation. But we're not going to be cowed. We're just going to ask the questions. There may be nothing to any of the questions being raised on the internet and in some media outlets. But one of the things we do is we try to settle these issues one way or another by using this Freedom of Information Act request process to get access to the truth about it. So, a lot of controversy. Things have not settled down here in Washington. The left wants to remove the president again through illegal means, by illegal leaks. The media is completely deranged by their hatred for Donald Trump, or too many in the media are, and they're conspiring with illegal leakers to publish this material. So it's a real kind of crisis in terms of the rule of law here in Washington, D.C., and so you're not allowed to ask questions about anything. But Judicial Watch is, and that's why we're in court trying to get access to this information. And I've been encouraging the Trump administration, I encourage you to let it all out. Release all the Russia records, declassify material so we know what the Obama administration was up to, and declassify material about what you were up to. I don't know what the Trump people were talking to about the Russians, but my guess is it was completely innocent within the realm of normalcy in terms of you have an incoming president talking to the Russians, or just people talking to the Russians generally. Why is the investigation only focused on Trump associates talking to the Russians? Why not the Clinton gang involvement with the Russians, where the money flow was pretty darn direct? All of that is what we're looking into, and it's not to protect or go after a particular politician, but it's to get the truth out in the end. I suspect there's corruption here. My instinct is it's not out of the Trump team, it's with the Obama-Clinton team. But I don't know what the results are going to be of our lawsuits, because it's all going to be government documents to tell us one way or another what's happened. So it's a long way of saying that Judicial Watch is on the case. You can't trust the media, you can't trust Congress, but you can trust Judicial Watch. And if you're supporting us already, thank you. If If you haven't supported us yet, you can see from this update and our other great work that you have good reason to do it. Thank you, and have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. This is a special time here in America as we honor those who sacrificed their lives to secure our freedoms. And so I know at Judicial Watch, given the sacrifices they did on behalf of our constitutional form of government and to keep us free, our work pales in comparison, but we're honored to be able to do the work thanks to their sacrifice.